EVO.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Finding Me with Josh Wolf. This is my daily podcast / journal where I'm trying to hold myself accountable to be the person that I want to be in my most authentic self. This is the first thing I've ever done 100% for me, to try to improve me. And honestly, I'm hoping some of you come along on the journey with me and we do this together. But obviously that is completely up to you. You get to choose your journey, your path. But for me, I found that being of service and helping other people has been something that's been really amazing for me as I've gotten older. And so I'm not a guru or a self-help dude. I am incredibly flawed. I just feel so lucky all the time that I still have this family and my kids and these friends. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm such a fuck up, And I fuck up all the time. And the one thing that I try to keep steady is my moral compass. And right now I'm really trying to figure out how to not fix, but change some of the things about myself that I haven't, I'm not sure if haven't liked is the right term, but that have bogged me down. The first 2 weeks of this, I was really trying to find out what, and by the way, I have Crest white strips in. Is that why, if you're watching this and I see me doing this a lot. But the first couple of weeks I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the podcast, and what I think I'm going to try to do, because I was kind of all over the place, is kind of theme it for the week. Some themes might go over, some I'm not sure if I want to break down the weeks yet as I, break it down by topic and then discuss the topic in a certain way every day. I haven't decided yet. But I do want to just start off, especially on Mondays, by saying, I'm super grateful for all of you. I'm grateful we sold out the weekend in Spokane.
This fucking broadcast is driving me crazy. It just fucking for no reason.
Oh my God. It's like I have a co-host who hates me. Anyways, thank you to the people of Spokane who came out and sold out all the shows. My Friday night late show, Mushroom Show, I was higher than I've ever. This is saying something for me. And I think the people in the audience thought I just say that. Without a doubt, the highest I've ever been in my life on stage. I was so high, and this has never happened to me before. I don't remember a single thing about the show. Not a single thing about the show. That's not how I get down. I don't remember a thing. I was told it was a great show. I have no idea. I can't wait to watch the tape. Anyways, this week I just wanted to start on health and kind of where this journey started for me. I've always thought I was healthy. I grew up in a household, we didn't have sugar cereal. We never had soda. You had dessert after dinner, and we had, and one of the reasons we had small amount of dessert is because we grew up pretty poor. But, there's not a lot of sugar, and we didn't go out to eat a lot. We didn't eat a lot of fried food and shit like that. So it was kind of embedded in me about how to eat. My mom had a garden in the back, all that shit. And then when I went to college, man, I ate this is the kind of weird, I've always eaten healthy in a weird way. Like I thought tomato sauce was bad. And I wanted just no fat and I had no idea. So I would eat pasta just with butter and plain meat. in the cafeteria. It was bananas. I've always
Eating. Fuck you, you fucking cunt.
This is making me so mad. Anyways, I've always eaten kind of healthy. And so when I left college, went to Seattle, I'm going to get into all this stuff deeper, but also get heavy into lifting, into trying to be shredded. Oh, dude, I would wear this was the 90s. Overalls, no shirt underneath it, backwards hat, flannel tucked around, tied around my waist. Let's fucking go. That was Dan Cortezing it up. When I moved to LA, my life was so out of control. The only thing I could control was my exercise and my diet. So I hunkered the fuck down. But and then I kind of did the same thing all the way up to when I really started to really think about health, like, living health. See, what I would do is I would use the mirror as my doctor. Yeah, there was a time that Beth and I would eat easy, bag and a half, 2 bags of Skittles every night. Just because I was like, there's no fat in there. And that was when it was like the fat was the evil, I was like, there's no fat in there. So I can eat a thing of Skittles and 2 bags of Twizzlers if I want. There's no fat. And I remember my doctor, we took my blood test once, and he was like, dude, tell me about your diet. And I told him, he was like, and you exercise? I go, yeah. And he goes, dude, your blood is like half sugar. And I was like, I eat 2 bags of Skittles every night. He was like, that's it. That's what I would stop doing. So I pulled back on sugar. And then a year later, this is when I started to really get into what health was. I started to think about preventable instead of treatable. Like, I didn't want to get the illness to begin with, right? I didn't want to just treat it. I just wanted to never get it. I never wanted to get sick. I never wanted to get whatever it was. And I didn't really start looking deep under the hood, right? Until I think it was probably around 2017. Beth and I were in this house. We were both getting sick all the time. Smoking weed made my brain feel like it was on fire. Like fire. My head, fire. My skin, fire. I mean, I kept doing it, but because I'm a fucking ridiculous person, but it was so weird. Only, and especially in the house, I would find myself falling asleep outside in the backyard. And we were living in a house that had a ton of mold. And Beth and I, it was like, we had 2 different experiences. It was like instinctively, I just couldn't go into the bedroom. I couldn't take a shower in there. I moved a lot of my clothes into my office. I ended up sleeping in the living room a lot. It was just like instinctively, when I walked in there, I felt heavy. I felt itchy. I felt the air felt heavy. And Beth wasn't getting black circles under her eyes. She was getting these really weird rust colored, almost brownish orange red circles that were textured. Her skin was a different color. She didn't like going outside. She stayed in. She craved sweets and carbs and the room. And so eventually she started doing some research, and we got the house tested for mold, and they came over and they were like, holy fuck, this house is inundated, and it's mostly in that bedroom. Which was oddly where instinctively I was like, I can't. I would sleep in my office, in the house, in the living room, And he was like, you guys should both get mold tests like tomorrow. And we went and get mold tests, and mine was pretty high. Beth was through the roof. And appeared to be happening, and some of the mold doctors said, she has so much mold, the mold is helping to control her behavior. She leaned into the sugars because it fed her mold. She didn't like to go outside because the mold didn't like it. The mold in her body liked the bedroom because that's where all the mold was. It was so weird to see something that was, because mold is alive, see something living basically inside of her, changing her behavior. It was fucking bananas. And we immediately were like, what are we going to do? And we had bought this house and we didn't quite understand how insidious mold is and how much it, ruins your health and your life. I lost friends during this year. I definitely lost business opportunities. There have been people that I have apologized to because of my behavior over that year. And some other people I still need to. I don't know if they want to hear it. But I was paranoid. I thought people were out to get me. I was anxious and I was angry. I love customer service people, man. I've worked in that area. I went off on some people. My temper during that year was that. And I just assumed everybody was out to get me. I apologized at one point to Tom Segura. I had to apologize. I apologized to his producer, Nadav, because I behaved in a way that was so paranoid and so ridiculous. But it was just, I had so much mold in me, and there's so much mold, a lot of molds in some weed that's why when I was smoking it, it was just like on fire. And we talked to the mold guy and he was like, hey, and this was years ago, you can treat it differently now. He was like, my advice, get out of the house. There's no way. Get out of the house right now and throw away all this shit. You got to treat it like a fire. You got to walk out of here and never come back. And we were like, that's ridiculous. We started reading things online of people's mold experience. Some people had slept in the car for like a month. And that's why I would sleep outside. The reason I didn't have it as bad as Beth is because I was on the road, So one night I came home from a show and Beth, and again, her behavior was so different too, but she was yelling at the house, hitting the walls, fuck you. What are you doing? It was like she was arguing with the house because the house, we both felt, was like slowly almost killing us. And I picked her up, literally picked her up, put her in the car. We drove to a hotel. And I told her, and this is a house we bought, man. We love this house. You're never going back. Neither one of us are ever going back in that house. And that was up to that time, like 50 years of our life, man. All of our stuff, all of our memorabilia, we had pictures that weren't digital pictures. The guy was like, you got to leave everything. If you transfer one spore, they multiply. It's possible. You want to be rid of this forever. Walk out of here like it's a fucking fire. And we did. I literally walked out of the back naked one day. I jumped in my pool. I dried myself off. I put on clothes I had bought from Target. I got in the car. I drove away. And the next time I went back in that house, it was in a hazmat suit. Hilarious. It was in a hazmat suit. We learned, and I'm bumping up on it, so this will be where I leave this part of the journey, and we'll get back into it tomorrow. But let me tell you what I learned so importantly. And that's why COVID was not that hard for Beth and I. Because COVID, we were on the run. Maybe this was 2018 then. We were on the run for almost not on the run, but on the mold run. We moved into, over the next 15 months, I think 17 places, because nobody will let you do a mold test before you move in. We would get to a place. There was one point in LA where I had 5 leases open at the same time. But let me tell you what I learned. When we walked out of there with nothing except each other, is I was a little bummed and shell-shocked. And 2 days later, I was already over whatever stuff I had left in there, because it was just stuff. And I looked at Beth. We both slept 2 nights in a row for the first time ever. I mean, in a year, we had slept. We woke up feeling refreshed. Our brains started to clear. And I realized that the things that were important were health and her, period. I mean, the rest of my family, obviously, but health and her. We could find other stuff. I can't find another her. I can't find another body. I can't find another brain, another heart. I can find other stuff. And so through that darkness, that was the first, like, okay, I can't just be surface health. I want to live well for an extended period of time. I can't just use the mirror as my doctor. I need to start looking at what's going into my body, not just what I'm eating, but environmentally. What products am I using? What cleaning products am I using? What hotels am I staying in? Am I near a golf course? Am I near a power plant? Am I near an industrial plant? All this shit. When I buy hotels and get hotels on the road now, it's not the fanciest. I'm staying, I don't give a shit if the newest hotel is a Motel 6. That's where I'm staying. Least amount of mold. I need a new hotel, period. So it was such a, through the darkness, a blessing to see the light, and the light of what was important, which was my health and my family. And that really started the journey of, oh, it's not just make sure you have your vegetables. That's important, but what's on the vegetables? Where are you getting the vegetables? Do you know what I mean? What am I putting in my body? What am I breathing? And so we'll get back tomorrow to how this kind of spread out into wellness and longevity and trying to, what I'm trying to do now. And we'll get into the next year of the mold run on tomorrow's show. But guys, I'm so excited. And I want to tell you something symbolically. I forgot to tell you this. Holy shit. My Finding Me notebook, which I've been touting as the future of the new me, how I want to be, all these notes of what I want the show to be.
Fuck you.
What I want the show to be, who I want to be. I had this whole week's shows mapped out. It's old me peeking his head through, trying to fuck things up. I left that notebook in Spokane. I wrote in it all weekend. Left it in Spokane. That's old me trying to fuck things up. Fuck you, old me. That's not happening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Finding Me. Be good to yourselves. Do something for yourself tomorrow. I want you to know, dude, hey, and I got to say this to myself every day, but you are enough. Who you are is enough. Who you are is enough. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Go Patriots.